I'm on my way to somewhere quite special today and quite unique. The canal looks pretty high. I'm heading for Bridge Street, and when we get to Bridge Street we might be able to see the place where I'm heading for today. There's a swan over there, asleep on the water. Or is it dead? I think it's probably asleep. Those locks back there don't look like they've been used that often, and if my experience of the Erewash Canal is anything to go by, then nor is the canal, although I must say it does look pretty clear here. But I know when you get towards Langley Mill there's a lot of weeds and stuff, growth in the water, especially around on the way there, around Sandyacre and the Stapleford area. Hello, the swan's woken up, and these two down here are enjoying their siesta. Well, they were until they heard me gobbing off and shouting. There we go, an afternoon nap by the waterside. How nice is that? Stenson Lock, number 71, I'm guessing. Still on the way to our destination, which is somewhere in that direction. And I was right. Stenson's Lock 71. If you know where that name comes from, do let me know in the comments below. That railway line behind me is a main line from Nottingham to Ilkeston. Then it goes on towards Chesterfield and the north. Any ideas where we are yet? Welcome to the Bennerley Viaduct. It was built in 1877 and used to carry the Great Northern Railway across the Erewash Valley, here between Alresford and Ilkeston. This iron construction spans 443 metres, crosses a railway line and the River Erewash. I'm guessing that what you can see now is the floodplain if the Erewash was to burst its banks. If you ever visit, there are various viewing platforms scattered along the pathway of this disused railway line. I think now I'm more or less in the middle, so some 200 metres across and probably another 200 metres or so to go before we come to the end of this fantastic iron construction. You can see why they call it the Iron Giant. You see the power station in the background, and then to the right of the picture is Ilkeston. That noise you can hear in the background is the main A road, which takes traffic from Nottingham to Langley Mill and beyond towards the peaks of the Derbyshire Dales. More midweek visitors coming to explore the enormity of this Iron Giant. I'm not looking forward to climbing back up these steps. You know what they say, what goes up must come down, or in this case, what goes down must come back up. I wouldn't like to tackle this in winter when there's snow on the ground. I imagine it could be quite treacherous. Doesn't look very steep. There's a 50% incline up there.
Friends group were formed in about 2017 or thereabouts, and that was all to do with Sustrans, who had a plan to bid for lots and lots of lottery money to do what has been done.
Yeah.
Sustrans, again, they changed priorities and withdrew the bid. So the Friends of Bennerley Viaduct continued, and in partnership with Railway Paths Limited, who actually own the viaduct, managed to get funding to put the decking on the top, and the ramp at the other end, which actually allowed safe access onto the viaduct.
Yeah, because that's the only, obviously you've only got ramp access on the other end at the moment.
Absolutely.
But, it's still...
There's a temporary step access this side, obviously.
Yeah.
And that is going to be temporary. But in between times, the Friends of Bennerley Viaduct have leased the viaduct and its land. We're actually standing on Harworth's land at the moment, who are the property developers who own this land and the land to the west of the viaduct.
Looking from the viaduct earlier on, I suppose it is a floodplain, isn't it?
Yes.
For the Erewash.
It is indeed.
The river.
That is farmer owned.
Right.
So from the green bit, if you like, that goes from the viaduct outwards, is owned by a local farmer. There's a fence underneath which is almost directly below the viaduct, which marks the boundary of the land that we lease from Railway Paths. So we have a 99-year lease, should see me out, and a few others.
Me too.
But it does allow us to obviously to get on with it, with the blessing of Railway Paths. We work with them because they still actually own and have responsibility for the iron of the viaduct, the actual viaduct itself.
Yeah.
We're responsible for sort of everything else.
And what's the next stage of your project or fundraising bit that you want to do to develop this iron giant?
We're currently working with Broxtowe Borough Council. I think it's Kimberley Town Council with Broxtowe put in a bid to the government for some levelling up funding, part of the last round. Total of something like 16 million, because there's other things that they want to do in Kimberley. Part of that is a cycle route from Kimberley across the county boundary towards Ilkeston, of which Bennerley Viaduct forms a significant part.
Are we in Nottinghamshire now then?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so is this a boundary? Or?
We've got a boundary marker underneath, which if you go and have a walk down you will find it's lovely and it's white. Stands about that high, marking the boundary between the two counties. So we do cross the two counties. Part of the levelling up bid was to put a ramp on the the eastern side. I always get it mixed up. The Alresworth side, where we are, the Nottinghamshire side, so that we will have greater accessibility at both sides, which will help. Cyclists can get up. There's a little channel up the steps, but it's not easy.
I wouldn't like to attempt it in winter,
as they will all tell you. Exactly. And we're hoping to break ground this year for the work to start. The levelling up funding will be given to the Friends of Bennerley Viaduct, managed by, we think, the Broxtowe Borough Council. Still waiting for government instructions on how it's going to work exactly, so that we will have a very similar ramp to the other side to make it steady. It's going to be sort of a bit twisty, so that it will be like the other side, a bit like a Swiss mountain road that goes up and down, and it will go obviously from the top of the viaduct somewhere over there, finishing and hopefully having road access to Shiloh Way via the current little slip road past the Naphtha Kennels.
Is that the road that runs parallel to the continuation of Station Street? You know where the little bridge is from the Dewdrop?
Yes. Yes. Shiloh Way is the Alresworth bypass. Was.
Right. Yeah.
So and
I've not been down there for years.
Oh right. Okay. Well, it's just the other side of these trees. You've got the Nottingham Canal running across the top.
Yeah.
But that's been blocked there already previously, so it's sort of ready, and we're hoping to do a deal with Harworths to allow obviously the ramp to go through and to build a small visitor centre of some sort. Plans are in motion at the moment, so there's nothing done, it's all being planned, and a small car park with some facilities. Our biggest problem here at the moment is there are no facilities at all. There's no power, no water, no loos, and we're hoping that certainly this time next year we'll have it all done.
I imagine when you get your sort of ramp access this side,
yes,
then locals are going to be actually using it as a footpath.
They do already.
No, but I mean,
more.
If more, and
yes,
if people maybe, you know, they can't climb stairs, that's going to facilitate that, isn't it?
It will, absolutely. And then it just means that there's a traffic-free, accessible route from basically the Nottingham Canal at this end to the Erewash Canal at the other end. Then once you get to the other end, of course, there is the towpath, which will take you in either direction towards Langley Mill or off towards Beeston. I think it goes all the way down, and it will become part of a bigger and better cycle route, traffic-free cycle route.
I've got to ask you what your website is, because I'm sure you've got fundraising links on there if people want to maybe donate or help in any way.
We do need donations because the government money is wonderful. There's a lot of it. I think it's £1.something million, which is great, but that will just, we think, buy a ramp and a small visitor centre. But we do need funds to exist. Once we have a visitor centre, we need people in it.
Yeah.
So we're always looking for money. The website is Friends of Bennerley Viaduct .co.uk.
I'll put that on the screen.
I think that would be useful. I've just got a shortcut to it, so I just use that all the time. And there's lots on there. We've got very active social media sites, Facebook and I think Twitter mirror each other, so that whichever one you prefer, you can get access to it. We're also, if I get chance, can I make a quick plea?
Please do.
Desperately need volunteers to come and help us. At the moment, there's a small number of trustees. We have a small number of regular volunteers who come and work the ground to keep access.
I'm going to say, did your volunteers put all this structure in for the steps, or was that
no? That was done and paid for by Railway Paths.
Okay.
Or the funding that they managed to secure.
Yeah.
What our volunteers do is maintenance, really, and that's to keep underneath the viaduct free-ish. We're hoping to develop that into a small nature reserve, because it is beautiful underneath. We have got a twin aspect here.
Yeah.
You've got the viaduct itself, which is fabulous, and the views are amazing.
And it is grade 2.
It's grade 2 listed. Absolutely. But you've also got underneath, where it's quiet, it's calm, it's a lovely place to be. A lot of wildlife around from the river, so birds. We have some newts, some great crested newts who hide, which is wonderful, and we need to look after them, of course. But the plan is to develop it, get some more wildflowers going, make it a nice place to be and to walk, because then it will get a circular walk.
Well, it's brilliant to talk to you and
pleasure.
Bump into you like this.
Indeed.
And hopefully you don't need to use that
umbrella
apparatus you've got in your hand today.
I've come through some very heavy rain, not that far away, so I think it's a case of crossing fingers again. But yeah, nice to talk to you, and if anybody who's watching this fancies to get involved in any way, shape or form, do get in touch. There are contact routes via the website, via our Facebook page, which is again Friends of Bennerley Viaduct, and hopefully I'd like to see some more people helping us.
As Nick mentioned, I'm going to make my way now through this gate and into the actual, or onto the actual floodplain, and have a look underneath the viaduct. It's a weird situation, this. Just come through the gate, round a corner, the viaduct's disappeared because of all this, well, these trees and overgrowth, but hopefully it should be in view soon. To my left is the floodplain, what we saw earlier at one of the viewing points on the bridge itself. And here she is. I think it's a she. Well, we'll call it a she. The monstrosity. That giant Meccano set in its full glory. Here she is. A bit echoey, actually. Look at that. Everything bolted together, or riveted together. Are they rivets? I think they are. 1877, when this was started, when its inauguration began. Let's wander around here. I think the designated footpath just goes over to my left over there. But there's also a pathway, bark on the ground, that leads all the way under the viaduct, I assume, well, all the way to the river Erewash. So we've got a parallel of 3 systems here, if you like, or navigation systems. We've got the river Erewash, obviously you can't navigate it, and then we've got the railway line, the main line from Nottingham to Ilkeston, which is the station just before the viaduct, and then that goes onwards north towards Chesterfield. And then we've got the canal, the Erewash Canal. A lot of wildlife around here, a lot of birds. As Nick said, they're hoping to instigate some sort of official nature reserve, maybe. I'm not sure if that was the correct term, but yeah, that sort of thing. And graffiti, which you tend to see so much of these days. Looks like someone has been having some sort of barbecue there. I don't know if that's technically legal. I don't know if you're allowed to do that here. There's a lot of greenery around, and if it was really dry and that was to catch fire, then could be a lot of damage done to the habitat. So as I came through that gate, you see that up there, and then that path just winds round underneath the viaduct, and also down here. We've got some writing up there, look at that. Alan, Mick, Sue? Is it Sue? How do people get up there to put graffiti on those girders? One, I don't know how they do it and why they do it, but two, it's bloody well dangerous. Why would you risk your life doing that? Well, I'm getting hungry. This will be a first for me. Well, it is a first for me. Having me lunch, me pack up, me Greg's special underneath the viaduct. Problem is trying to get into some of these things. What have we got? Chicken and bacon. One of my favourites. Apart from cheese. I'll take that off neat, and then I can pop it back in my bag and take my litter home with me, as you should always do when you're in the countryside. Well, you should anywhere. You shouldn't throw litter on the floor and expect other people to pick it up. It's not very nice. Not a nice thing to do. Right, it's been sort of stood upright in my bag, so I've got the pasta one side and chicken the other. It's quite a good technique if you want to separate your food. Tell you what, I'm ready for this. I did think it was going to rain. In fact, it started to spot with rain a few moments ago. I'd got a rain warning on the drone, and well, the sun's come out again now. It's not beer, it's Fanta, before you start screaming at me. I think that is about finished. What do you think? Right then, time to move. Let's explore more of the undercarriage of this railway viaduct. Did you see what I did there? No, I won't give up the day job. Let's go under it. Under the girder. I think the wind's picking up a bit now. And more graffiti. Kaz, Scott, however you got up there to paint that, I don't know, but please do not do it. It's very, very dangerous. And that's the floodplain we saw earlier from the viaduct itself. Can hear seagulls in the background. I think I'm not very good with identifying birds of the feathered variety. It's not my forte. Hello, this is interesting. This is a boundary between Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire. Derbyshire on the left and Nottinghamshire on the right. It's interesting how that's, well, it's not gone, I don't think it's been buried deeper. I think the land actually goes higher here. Now, somewhere around here I'm looking for I think it's a blue, some sort of blue gate or fence. That's the River Erewash over the edge bottom there. It's got quite a flow on it. I do need to get over the Erewash. I believe there's a bridge. There's certainly a footbridge, so you can get over the railway line. Ah, here we go. Here's a gate that Nick mentioned. The blue gate. There used to be a factory on this land over here, just before the, well, in the foreground of that wind turbine. Quite a big factory. I'm not sure what it produced. I'm guessing it could have been some sort of ironworks. If you know, let me know in the comments below. So that's the River Erewash. Now, looks like that this would have been the an original bridge. Obviously derelict now. Ooh. If we go down here until we take a right, and before we do that, let's just have a last look at this magnificent structure. If you don't fancy sitting on the brick-based columns, then there are some seats and benches knocking about. Obviously this looks like a memorial bench in memory of somebody. I'm guessing this is the way down to the footbridge, so I can get over the railway line and get back into Cotmanay. Oh, look at that, an original bit of track, obviously no longer used. And look at that, bloody climb. I don't like climbing steps at my age. And another view of the Bennerley Viaduct between Allsworth and Cotmanay. Stretches the border between Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire. I do like the going down bit, much better than the coming up bit, but hey, that's just me. I'm not very athletic. And another train goes by, and the end is in sight. Just come from there, and now got a bit of life again. Bennerley Wood is where we've just come from, and down here, or further down that way behind me, is a canal which we left earlier on when we went to join the viaduct. Hope you enjoyed that little wander as much as I did. I've never been before. Remember, if you do want to visit, the link is below.